Last week, the Texas Team Trail, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, launched day one of the 2020 championship onto Choke Canyon Reservoir in deep South Texas.
That's a better fish.
After nearly a decade of drought dropped lake levels more than 30 feet, this 25,000-acre impoundment is on the mend. And the East Texas powerhouse team of Brian Shook and Danny Isles took full advantage of that. Sacking up 5 for 27.5 pounds, Shook and Isles have a better than 4-pound advantage going into the final day. Welcome to day 2 from Choke Canyon Reservoir. It's championship time. It's late October in South Texas, and after a week in the 90s, the season's first cold front has blown through on a strong north wind, dropping temps 20 degrees.
Front's kind of blown over. Sun's gonna shine a little more today, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Pattern kind of fell apart in the morning. We got the morning bite good, and it was awesome, but no bigs. We finished the day out finding some bigger fish, and so we're gonna start there today on fishing some deeper grass.
Oh, we're just gonna put our head down, just go fishing. And there's a bunch of big fish in here, so one bite can change so much.
Checking the Bass Pro forecast. Winds are back from the south today. The cloud cover should burn off by late morning with an expected high in the low 90s. Heading to launch, we'll start things off with tournament leaders Brian Shook and Danny Isles.
I think we're gonna kind of do the same deal. We're gonna fish some shallow grass early this morning and try to catch a limit, and then we're gonna run down the lake, and we've caught some little bigger fish down there. So hopefully we can get 5 fish in the boat, run down there and catch a few big ones. So that's our game plan.
In addition to the championship, Isles and Shook are also looking to wrap up the season as overall points leaders in the Lucas Oil Team of the Year. With a near 40-point lead coming into the event, they've got this one all but locked up. Back to launch. We'll catch up with the second-place team of Grover Mansfield and Court Weston.
I was nervous about what the weather was going to do. Looks like it's going to help us out a little bit this morning. So that's going to be just go out there and see what happens.
What's kind of your game plan going into today?
Start shallow, throw moving baits, and if the sun happens to poke out, start flipping grass mats, just running all over, trying to upgrade throughout the day.
Starting their day 4 pounds behind the leaders, Mansfield and Weston are throwing top waters over grass, and Grover gets the first bite. With one in the box early for Mansfield and Weston, we'll move on and check in with the day 1 leaders, Brian Shook and Danny Isles. With a late boat draw, Shook and Isles pulled into their starting spot, only to find another competitor already there. In an act of complete sportsmanship, the other boat backed off, leaving the leaders unfettered access to their fish. Throwing a bladed jig, Danny got the first bite.
Coming straight to boat. Biggin. Biggin.
Which side?
Right there.
Big one.
This side.
And just like that, Shook and Isles are on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get him. Got to give it up to Bud Pruitt right there for letting us have this. He didn't know we were fishing here, and he came in here before us, and that's the definition of sportsmanship right there. That's really awesome.
Checking the Ranger replay, we're giving a shout out to Mike Ligon and Bud Pruitt. After learning they were sitting on the leader's primary spot, without hesitation, Bud and Mike backed off and went in search of new water.
He knew we were leading the tournament, and he put his rods down and left. I mean, that's a big deal. You don't see much of that these days. To let us have our spot, and didn't have to by any means. We told him he didn't have to, but I mean, that's huge. That's incredible. Big thanks to Bud.
Back on Grover Mansfield and Court Weston, After starting the morning in second, 4 pounds behind the leaders, Grover put one in the box early, but it's been quiet since.
Yeah, yesterday morning started out with a bang. And I was first boat in here, we stopped right there. Put a good limit in the box, lost a couple 4-pounders, then went through there, caught a couple big ones, and ways the boat started moving in on us, and we're just like, y'all can have it. We'll go looking somewhere else.
And that's 2 for Weston and Mansfield.
Cool. Yep, I guess so.
There were questions this morning as to how the season's first cold front would affect the bite, and by early indications, it didn't. Stay with us. We've got a lot more action from Choke Canyon Reservoir and the 2020 Texas Team Trail Championship, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
The great beyond, the great below, the mystery of the unseen and the unknown. With a rod and a reel and the spirit of adventure that hangs in the salty air. To find and to fight. It's with that spirit that we design our product at Worldwide Sportsman. It's up to you to put it to the test.
Groundbreaking designs, unsurpassed quality, and unshakable confidence. Welcome to the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series. Leading the industry for over 50 years, these rigs are custom crafted and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver the ultimate ownership experience. The legendary Ranger Z series. Unleash next level performance. Mercury, go boldly.
At Mercury, we invested thousands of hours of engineering manpower so you can enjoy hours and hours of untapped horsepower. The V6 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly. At Mercury, there are no limits to what we'll do to make sure you have no limits either. The V8 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly.
The Texas Team Trail is presented to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Lucas Oil and High Performance Marine Products. And by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Welcome back to Choke Canyon Reservoir for the second and final day of the 2020 Texas Team Trail Championship. We've got 82 teams on hand, fishing for a total purse worth better than $123,000, including a Ranger Mercury package for first and second place. Also in play is the Lucas Oil Team of the Year. Brian Shook and Danny Isles came into this event with a 40-point lead over the rest of the field, and after a dominating day one performance, they've got that title all but locked up.
Cutting grass up. Oh, no, not that big.
Sure.
Oh. I mean, he'll keep. You don't net him anyway?
We still need 4.
That's a little big one, not a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, but the hook fell out.
Saw that.
Good job, Neddy.
That's 2 in the boat for close to 9 pounds.
You just keep throwing right there, we'll be good.
I got the half-ounce swim jig on too. What'd you throw out there to your swim bait?
Yeah.
One more time. They're a little smaller than yesterday, but we'll take them. We'll be glad to have them.
Get down the lake a little earlier and get back up here and stick it out, probably.
There's one right there.
Oh boy.
What the heck? I don't think I got him. I got the dang tree.
Yeah.
Crap.
We ain't going up
No,
there.
we ain't going up there.
Back on Grover Mansfield and Court Weston.
We caught a few fish at our primary spot. And, you know, our pattern that we had that was just awesome yesterday, we knew it was fizzling out, and we just kept on trying to make it work, trying to make it work, trying to make it work. And finally, about 1 o'clock, we said it's not working. We just started bouncing around, hitting random spots, deep spots, shallow spots. You know, it's not what I wanted, but I'm glad to have it for today.
Back on the leaders, Danny and Brian have a school located, and one by one, they're working towards a limit.
Good? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Come here, baby. Oh. Good job. Here, grab my rod. I got him. Okay, you're good. All right.
That's 3 in the boat for nearly 13 pounds. Before we head to break, the schedule for the 2021 season is out. We've got 3 qualifying events leading up to the season-ending championship on Lake Whitney. In addition, there's a special event planned in April that we'll announce soon. Keep an eye on our Facebook and Instagram page for details. Stay with us. Championship coverage continues from Choke Canyon Reservoir in the 2020 Texas Team Trail Championship, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Stetson Blaylock, Todd Auten, Head Cherry, let's go!
Garmin Live Scope, I tell you right now, if you don't have it, you are behind. It's just wild. It's like a video game.
If you do not have that Garmin Live Scope, you are definitely missing out.
Bassmaster Classic Champion!
Hi, I'm Pro Angler Mark Rose.
And I'm Pro Angler Andy Montgomery.
You want your truck engine to last longer than a 3,000-yard bulk spool of line?
Lucas Oil, motor oil, long lasting.
Extra long lasting.
Should I say running smoother or running better? Running smoother might sound better. Smoother than a 3-legged thunder cricket coming through a treetop.
Silence! Say something about injector cleaner and hold up the bottle. Are we rolling? Jeez. Come on! Lucas Oil, made in America.
Sold to the world.
As a professional angler, you've got so many things on your mind. Any advantage that we have is key. And not only rods and reels and lines and baits, but in our clothes. And the guys at AFCO, they have something for every situation. There's nothing AFCO hasn't thought about with the fishermen in mind. It's designed for fishermen, by fishermen, for every scenario you can come to. Any fish, any water, any condition, AFCO has you covered.
The Texas Team Trail, presented to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, is also brought to you in part by Triton Boats. We take America fishing. Garmin Electronics. Fight the fish, not your fish finder. By Mercury Outboards. Go boldly. And by TH Marine. From transom to trolling motor. Welcome back to Choke Canyon Reservoir on the Frio River in deep South Texas. This is the final event of the season, and getting back into tournament coverage, we'll pick things up with Lance Vick and Ryan Williams. After sacking up 21-92 on day 1, they launched this morning in 5th place, but their bite has fizzled, and now the clock is becoming a factor.
Well, our main creek we were catching them in has died. We've been flipping, frogging, swim baiting, fluking, nothing. So we've got some areas we haven't fished going back towards the weigh-in, and we're gonna go hit it for the last hour or so we've got left. Hopefully we can get 4 good ones.
Complete opposite from yesterday. I mean, yesterday we had a limit within an hour, and here it is, 12:45, and we've only got 3 small swimmers in the box. So yesterday he turned on pretty good around 2 o'clock, so we're hoping and praying they turn on again for us.
Moving on, this is the father-son team of Bob and Andy Vogt. Starting their day in 4th place overall, they picked up a small limit, but they're struggling to match their day 1 performance.
We had a good first day. I mean, we had to work for them, but we had 22 pounds. But it was a little concerning. We kind of ran out of bites about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I don't know exactly what caused that. We fished the same kind of water. They just stopped biting. This morning, you know, it was slow to start. We probably have caught about maybe 8 or 9 keepers. And we probably have maybe 13 pounds. So we have not had, Andy lost a couple of good bites. We saw the fish, they would have helped. But we got, what, 2 or 3 fish in there, Andy, we got a cull?
Yeah, we at least got, realistically, we need to get rid of 3 of them if we want a chance at a decent check.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just one of those, typically, you gotta have a couple key bites during the course of a day, and we're still looking for that key bite.
Back on Weston and Mansfield, with just hours left on the day, they've got 5, but they're well short of their day 1 weight.
It's always a day after a cold front's always tough, no matter where you're at.
I'll get a sniff on this cast. This thing's going back on the deck.
There's been a little lull each day.
Yeah.
Where you just can't get a bite. Later in the day, it'll pick back up. Yeah. Yesterday, even before we weighed in, we got quite a few bites flipping. Just got to keep your head down.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Isles and Brian Shook started the day with a 4-pound lead, and even though the bite has changed, they've managed to cull up a couple of times, and with time running out, they're sitting on a limit for near 22 pounds.
He had me around that dang tree, I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, good job.
Thought he was a big deacon.
Nope, but I think he'll help.
Yeah, he'll help. I didn't know there was a tree in there. My line's gonna be screwed up now. Oh, yeah.
Danny just caught one at, what did that give us extra?
3/4 of a pound.
3/4 of a pound, so any upgrade at this point's big. They're gonna definitely putting the heat on second place, I would say. Just keep chunking and winding, see what happens.
And that'll do it for our On the Water coverage. While our cameras head back to weigh-in, we'll take this opportunity to give a shout out to Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. For any of your fishing or boating needs, check out one of their retail stores or hit them up online.
Nitro, a rush of tournament adrenaline. Nitro, the choice of champions, where performance meets play. Nitro, a big water beast, a pure fishing machine. Nitro, release the champion within.
At Duckett Fishing, we have assembled the top pros in the country to help us design rods to give you a competitive advantage. Castability, strength, durability, action, sensitivity, weight and balance, and consistency. Combine that with the best warranty in the industry, and you have rods that are pro-driven.
Duckett Fishing, pro-driven.
You've been waiting all week for this, and Sunline wants to make sure you're ready for it with bulk spools of all your favorite fishing lines.
That's so fun.
Bulk up with Sunline.
The Texas Team Trail, presented to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, is also brought to you in part by AFTCO. Any fish, any water. By Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. And by Sunline, the strength to guarantee your confidence.
Okay, we're ready to get going for day 2, the final day of the Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's 2020 Texas Team Trail Championship.
Heading to the stage for the final weigh-in of the season, there's $123,000 up for grabs this week, including a brand new Ranger Mercury package for first and second place. Early in the weigh-in, and we're seeing some movement on the leaderboard. The bite was noticeably tougher.
It was tough for us. Started the morning off with a couple of fish, and then we just went flipping and caught 4 or 5, and I mean, it was a grind all day.
What were you doing early when you got that school fired up?
Just on a crankbait and a Texas rig. They were shallow, though. They were just right on the edge of the grass. And, you know, it's just like Rayburn Toledo. These fish come out of the grass and start feeding early, and then they'll ease back and calm down, and then you pick the flipping stick up and go. But the pond's in great shape, had a great time. I'm just thrilled that we were able to do this, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Let's see what's going on here.
This is Kyle Rowe and Ted Pate. After sacking up 5 for $19.95 on day 1, they're looking to make a big move with what may be the biggest bag of the tournament.
We're looking for $24.97 to take the lead. $31.03, your new leader, Kyle Rowe and Ted Pate.
Grover Mansfield and Court Weston started the day in second, adding $18.62 to their total. They'll slip down to 5th place, earning $1,500.
When your primary pattern don't work on the second day, it can fizzle you out, but we just hung on to it and kept on grinding, and we ground out a pretty decent bag today. So.
Jason Bonds and James Nitschke fared a bit better, adding $23.04. They'll move up the leaderboard and finish the event in 4th. They'll take home $1,774 for their efforts.
Man, what a tournament.
Yeah, it was a pretty good day. It was, we got lucky yesterday and caught a 7.5, and, you know, that kind of helped us through the day, but today was a little bit better. We caught some fish early, kept going back to the spot, and about 2 minutes before we left, I caught another big one. So,
how were you catching most of them?
Most of them cranking.
Adam Dunn and Shelby Shaw had a good day, weighing 5 for $26.52. They'll wrap things up with a 2-day total of $46.69 for a 3rd place finish worth $3,158.
Shelby, how was your day?
It was good. Started off really good. I mean, caught that big one, was our first fish. 9.5 pounder right off the bat will always get you going pretty good. Of course, but it also puts some pressure on you too, because then you know, man, we got to get 4. We get 4 more good ones, we got a chance. And so we caught a limit in, you know, an hour. And so, you know, we at least felt pretty good, but then we just steady cold the rest of the day, kind of cold up the rest of the day. That's so much different than yesterday, where we had 1 fish at 11:30 and we're scrambling and go in a little pocket and end up catching 4 good ones in a pocket and end up with 20 pounds yesterday. So it was a great event.
And now we're down to the final team. Danny Isles and Brian Shook launched this morning with a 4-pound lead. The overall championship and the Lucas Oil Team of the Year title on the line. For the final call, we'll turn it over to Tournament Director Mike Hastings.
This is Brian Shook and Danny Isles. 5 alive. We're looking for 23.42 to win this thing. 23.34. 23.34, just shy. Congratulations, Kyle Rowe and Ted Pate, your 2020 Texas Team Trail champions, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. What a victory, what a comeback. It was so close.
Oh, we're surprised. We really thought we were fishing for second today, to be honest with you.
Lay out your day for me.
Lay out my day? Well, we caught 2 big ones on a frog early, and then we caught 3 flipping, punching in the mats. That's the 5 we weighed in.
And there you have it. Kyle Rowe and Ted Pate are your 2020 TXTT champions. For their efforts, they'll take home a $54,000 prize package that includes a Ranger Z519 powered by a 225 horsepower Mercury outboard. Brian Shook and Danny Isles gave it a good run and finished out the tournament in second, earning a Ranger Mercury package of their own.
We had a really good day. We had a little bit over 23 pounds, which on this lake consistently with what we had yesterday is very, very good. So no complaints. We caught a lot of fish, had a great time. Hope we come back another day, try one more time.
I think we did everything we could. Fished pretty clean, and congrats to those guys.
And turning to the Lucas Oil Team of the Year award, Brian and Danny led the point standing all year, and in addition to the trophy and the Super Bowl style rings, they'll get automatic entry into all events for the 2021 season. For schedules and registration, head on over to TexasTeamTrail.com. Well, that'll do it for this year. Catch us in 2021 as we launch another season of the top-rated team trail in the nation, the Texas Team Trail, presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Succeeding at the highest levels of fishing requires intense drive. Doing so with a boat that merely suffices isn't good enough. To lead the pack, you need a top-performing boat that gives you a clear view of the goal. A powerful boat that accelerates you to the top of the leaderboard. Triton is always looking one step ahead. That's why it's the driving force of performance fishing.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices, a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.